All right, we are live. Welcome to Fins Talk today. I'm your host, Bobby Melendez, joined by Fish Tank Hank. Hank, despite the game yesterday, how are you feeling, my friend?
To be honest with you, you notice I got my hat on today. I'm still wearing my colors, got my orange on.
Let's see here, getting some audio issues.
But you
Hank,
notice.
can you hear me all right?
Can you hear me now?
Let's see.
How about now? Try something different.
Can you hear me, Hank?
Yeah,
It's like the audio's off here.
I can hear you.
Let us see here. All right. Let's try that.
Test.
All right, Hank, I hear you, man.
Right on.
All righty.
Hear you
Hank,
guys.
go ahead. I'm sorry. How are you feeling, my friend?
I'm feeling good, As you notice, you see my sunglasses and whatnot. That's because I'm in mourning after that game.
I'm with you on that. That's why I'm a little disheveled today. I'm still feeling the effects of yesterday, even though I was only 7 points off after our prediction. I had Miami losing 38-10. They only lost by, 45-17 or something like that. They were 17 points off both ways, but it was just the way the defense played and everything else that really has me down. It looks like this team continues to keep going downward. So, Hank, let's talk about yesterday's game. Man, your reaction.
Well, my reaction is I'm not all that surprised. It is the world champs. They are the world champs for a reason. So I got to give them credit where credit's due. Brady and the boys did their job. So, Miami could have done a lot of things different again, but the chips didn't fall their way at all. In the beginning, they were showing a little bit of light and all that, but it just didn't sustain to any degree. And that's the issue that came out of it. And then you had Brissett limping around everywhere.
Yeah.
At that point in time, when you're that far behind, you should have just thrown the rookie in at that point in time, or the other guy that has been under the Patriots for a year or whatever, Sinnett, right?
Yeah, Reed Sinnett. Yeah, it was just, it started off okay. Better than I expected. But, even though I had predicted Miami to lose this football game, I was, you had that hope because Miami has done it in the past where they've shut Brady down, and you were hoping that was this type of football game. But again, where offense looked a little more free, the play calling looked a little better, but defense just wasn't there. Jalen Phillips did get his first sack. That was exciting. But Xavier Howard, Byron Jones, they got torched. So, if it's not one thing that's wrong, it's the other. And it's just like, you're kind of hoping next weekend, even though it's a winless game, and of course we'll discuss that a little at the end of the show. Even though it's a winless team we're going against, you should be hyped about going into this football game, but you're going into this game hoping for a win, hoping they perform. So it didn't. Yesterday was, even though I predicted a loss, it was still a punch to the gut.
Well, aren't they going across the pond to play?
They are. They're going to London.
Well,
morning game.
No worries there. No worries. We got our fans over in the UK that are going to bring us a win. So at least we'll have that to look forward to.
From your mouth to God's ears, my friend.
Yeah, so far I haven't been too correct on anything. So, let's talk about the studs and duds then. Who do you got for the studs and duds? What are you looking at?
It's hard to choose studs and duds when you get beat up and trashed like that. But let's start off with the duds. We're going to go studs and duds. There's only 3 of them, so let's do duds first. Man, obviously defense, number 1. And obviously Dolphins secondary, that's 2 for me. So defense overall was just, they sucked. They sucked. Number 3 would be Jalen Waddle. He had 2 big drops in that game. One was an interception that ended up an interception for Brissett, and the other one which could have been a touchdown for Miami. That was another big drop for Jalen. They were in his hands. I have no issue with Jalen. I think he's going to continue to be a great player for us, but he's a dud for Week 5. Studs, Myles Gaskin. If you look at his rushing attempts, I mean, they're not impressive. I mean, he did good a little bit. He started the game, but as a receiver, he had 10 receptions, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns. This is the guy. You don't have that alpha running back, but this is the guy who should be your running back going forward because he kind of opens up your offense for you. Jacoby Brissett, getting beat up. Jesse Davis, a line that sack. He has 27 to 59, 275 yards, a touchdown, and of course that interception by that Jalen Waddle drop. But I got to give him a stud. And then Preston Williams he only had 3 receptions, but they were meaningful receptions. So not a lot of studs, but still, I got 3 out of there. How about you?
Yeah, I'm right with you on Gaskin, to tell you the truth. Gaskin, he was about the only stud, but I do want to say the offensive line, the changeup that they seem to have done, did seem to improve things a bit. Now, I'm not saying it was leaps and bounds, but you saw a little bit of a shift in the first half where they were at least competitive to some degree compared to just complete Swiss cheese. So I think they did a better job as far as that went. But then as the game went along, and especially the running game was open along with the passing game this time around by the defense. So they're my duds. And Gaskin, and like I said, I really like what the O-line did, to be honest. I like the fact that they made the change. That's what I should do. I agree with the change. You could see there was a difference, in my opinion. But
yeah, I see Revo13 saying Jackson was still getting punked, but I got to say, Jackson did pretty good at left guard, where I think he's supposed to be. So I disagree with you there, 13. I think the change, I know we're going to discuss the offensive line right now. We'll go ahead and move on to that. Hey, offensive line, what changes would we make if we were in charge to help improve it? I think Eichenberg at left tackle is the right move for Miami. He did very well. I think he was the highest graded by Pro Football Focus on our offensive line. Austin Jackson did a lot better. I keep him there at left guard, and I'd keep that for all 17 games unless you sign somebody. At center, Dieter, excuse me if I'm butchering that, Michael Dieter, he's out. He's injured right now, but he's going to come back. I'd put him right back there. He did all right for us when he was the center starting the season. Right tackle, Robert Hunt is doing great at right guard, or doing good at right guard. Honestly, if I would, unless they sign someone, I'd move him to right tackle. But if we had to, my preference for right tackle would probably be Mitchell Schwartz, former Kansas City Chief, free agent right now. Get a veteran on that right side to protect Tua's blind side when Tua coming back down to Jacksonville. What do you got, Hank? What do you think? What would you do with that offensive line?
Wow, you nailed the left side already. That's about all they can do is shore up, put the rookie over there, see what he can do, and let Jackson stay on that inside edge because he does much better that way. I don't think there's any quick fix, but you're right. They should be able to get some type of player in free agency. What is it, a November 2nd deadline or something like that? November at some time deadline, I think it is. And I just don't know how they're going to do it. There are problems. Like I said, I'm in mourning because there are so many problems, and you could take a punch in any direction you want to go. But like I said, the move so far is the biggest impact they could have done immediately. And they did it. They moved him around again. And I think they did try Hunt on the right side before, and it didn't work. I could be wrong. I thought they did try him out there a couple times last year, no?
They at Robert Hunt they did, and but he didn't do bad. I mean, if you look at his numbers, I don't think he did bad, and that's what he played in college. I mean, but here's my thing: I'd keep him. I would move him to right tackle if we had a good replacement for him at right guard. Here's the only issue with that is that if you put, I would not want to put Jesse Davis at right guard. I want Jesse Davis on the bench. I don't know why he's in there out there. He's a casualty waiting to happen. Whoever your quarterback is, he's done it for Tua. Now he's done it with Brissett, but Brissett is tough enough to stay in the game and fight. But Jesse Davis needs to be on the bench. If he's going to right tackle or right guard, it's a failure for Miami.
Well, that's who you need to replace. You bring in a veteran that has a few more years left on him, that's not looking for a big jumbo contract, and it'll take care of all that. Like you said, you like the guy from who? Kansas City?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there he goes. Let me respond very quick, Hank, to Cap for Life. He's asking us, this is all being done for a right-handed quarterback. What are we going to do when Tua comes back? This is for Tua. You want Eichenberg to protect Tua's left side, but you want a veteran to protect Tua's left side, his right side, which is his seam out here. So for me, in my opinion, I would sign a veteran or put Robert Hunt at right tackle, but keep Eichenberg where he's good at left tackle. He was a very good college player. So whether it's Tua, Brissett, or any other quarterback, this is the line you need to have right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's just a matter at this point in time of bringing in one more person to solidify a couple things, but you might not see this big giant jump. I mean, there might not be a big giant jump, but
we're going to discuss that too at the end of the show.
For some parts of the line, anything's better at this point in time, is what I'm trying to say. And they're already starting with switching them around. So I'm at least thumbs up on that, and I agree totally with doing that first. And now they need to bring somebody in, and once they bring those two things together, it's going to happen. So I'm not losing faith yet for those of you that are.
And let me go ahead and respond back to Cap for Life. Does musical linemen worry you for playing musical chairs? Obviously, yeah, it worries me, and I'm sure it worries Hank, and I'll let Hank respond to that. Because this should have been done before the season. We should have had our line set for the best players to protect our quarterback. But that's not the case. Our coaching staff, developmental staff, and front office, something's wrong right there. It's obvious right now. But during the season right now, does musical linemen worry me? No, because we have to do everything we can to save this season to whoever our quarterback is going forward, protect him. So you have to put the best guys on the field. Miami's just waiting a year finally to do that. They're doing it now. And they made the right choice with Austin Jackson and Eichenberg on the left side, left guard and left tackle.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. I can't beat a dead horse. We need to move on. Super Tua. How about Super Tua? You got any comments on Super Tua?
So going on here, Super Tua, can the return of Tua, Hank, in your opinion, the way what you see with this team, can Tua save this season? Can he be the savior for this football year?
The first question I would have is, when is he coming back? Okay.
Jacksonville. Supposedly it's coming back in Jacksonville next week.
No, that's when he might be able to come back, right? That's not a definite, right?
As of right now, no.
Yeah, it's Sinet. So if he's fixed up and he doesn't have problems, and this line continues to go in the direction we're down here, and this is level right here. This is normal. We at least started trending toward normal line a little bit now. So, if the line continues to improve, I'd say, yeah, with whoever's back there, I think we're going to see lots of improvement, to be honest with you. And Tua can throw the ball. I mean, he's been said to be this accurate guy and everything else. Like I said, he's he's the quarterback, and I knew it didn't matter who you put back there with this line, and everybody keeps saying 2 of this, 2 of that, and it's like, it doesn't make a difference until this O-line is fixed enough where somebody can at least take 3 seconds and throw the ball. You can't get anybody downfield. Everybody wants to throw it downfield. You can't. You can't. You're busy running around. You don't even get a chance to load up and throw downfield. So can Tua return and save the Dolphins season? If the offensive line continues to trend back toward normal, I would say yes. I think if he comes back in Jacksonville, it might be too early.
Okay.
So that's my answer.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I'm going to go with you on that in regards of the thing is, whether it's next week. The offensive line looked better despite the big hit on Jacoby. And I think you're right. I think the offensive line performance had trended upwards against the game yesterday. If they continue to do that and give their quarterback time, a quarterback can make plays. The only thing that can hold Tua back is himself. If he has an offensive line to protect him, it's his progression on getting better. Can Tua save the year? Listen, I think it's, even though I'm still here on Tua, I think it's bigger than him at this point. This is a collective effort. I know someone brought that up earlier in the chat box, and you're absolutely right. It's a collective effort. It's quarterback, it's offensive line. In the end, it's coaching staff. And this is where I said this earlier to Ralph Hank, and I'll tell you, my friend, we're not going to talk too much about the game because we're going to talk about our predictions. But I just want to say like this. To me, this Jacksonville game, whoever's starting at quarterback, this is a must-win game for the Dolphins. If the Dolphins lose this football game, all bets are off. And I know we brought this up a little bit last week, but again, I don't want to hear anything about just firing Flores or just firing Greer. If the Dolphins could go downhill, I'm talking about total blowout this season. Missed expectation, missed playoffs. If you fire Flores, you better fire Greer. Clean house, start fresh. Let the new general manager hire his coach, draft their quarterback, and get their guy. It has to be fresh because this team right now, there's no reason why this football team with the talent that we have, Xavier Howard, Byron Jones, Jalen Waddle, Gaskin, and these guys are talented. And Jerome Baker. This is a talented roster. Holland looks like he's going to be a good player. There's no reason why these guys shouldn't be competing. So, and even if it's Tua starting, Tua is a 5th overall pick, okay? These guys should be excelling. We've committed a lot of dollars, a lot of draft capital into this roster, into this offensive line for this football team to be in the position they are right now at 1-4, okay? So if Miami loses against Jacksonville, against this kid is good, Trevor Lawrence, I'm not knocking him. This team's back against the wall, they're 0-5. But, if Miami loses against a Jacksonville team 0-5, distracted by their coach and lap dances and rookie quarterback, if they can't put a good game together to win, I'm not talking about a New England-style win here by 1 point. I wasn't impressed with that Week 1 victory. They need to dominate this rookie quarterback, not give him a Mac Jones-type day. They need to dominate him. If they win by 1 point, I'm not going to be happy, man. 3 points, I'm talking about a close game. They need to make this a statement win. Now, if they lose, all bets are off. Then it's sound the alarms, hellfire.
I'll tell you what. If we turn around and lose to Jacksonville, not saying Jacksonville's horrid or anything, they just have had some bad breaks themselves, I guess. But not poking the dead dog there for Jacksonville fans. But if they lose to them, then that'll tell you right there where the season's going. I mean, 5 losses. I mean, that's hard to come back. Even though you have 11 games, what are you going to do? Win out? There's some tough games coming, and Miami's not going to win out. So,
If you look at the schedule, and we're going to go over that right in a few minutes here, Hank. But if you look at the schedule, I just want to say this for people out there very quickly. The other teams like the Jaguars and the Falcons and the Jets and whatever, these teams that are struggling, we can't look at this schedule and say these teams are easy wins. These teams are looking at the Dolphins right now going, this is a winnable game for us. So Miami needs to turn that around. Again, that's my point, Hank, too. There's no reason for that. This team has too much talent in order to be at this position. That's why, to me, it's front office and it's coaching.
I don't know. Right now, we're looking like the Jets. All right? Right now, we're looking like the freaking Jets. Okay? We supposedly have all this talent, and there isn't crap going on with it. You know what I mean? And
it's horrible. That's my point. I don't understand how we were going like this, and now it's really looking like this. And it's not just players on the field. It's not execution. To me, it's not execution. Okay, yeah, Jalen Waddle, a rookie, dropping 2 big drops here, interception and a touchdown. Yeah, that's big. Okay, that's execution. But everything else, it's preparation, it's coaching, it's development, and it's the ingredients by the general manager. So to me, it's a bigger picture issue right now with the Miami Dolphins. But let's move on, Hank. We're talking about Jacksonville. Keys to the game. What are your keys to victory for the Dolphins for a chance, God willing, beat Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday in London?
Well, the keys to beating them are simple. It's the same thing it's been. Comes back down to quarterback play behind that offensive line. And if they can't stay on the field, they're going to just chew up the defense by wearing them down. And that's exactly what happened in the Tampa Bay game. You didn't have the offense on the field very long, and then you turned around and gave up big plays at the end where you should be scoring. So, Miami's offensive line and the quarterback, they have to work. I mean, if those two aren't working, then forget about it. But I think Miami has made some changes in the right direction. They might actually be able to pull this off. I know we got a lot of fans in the UK, so they'll be there rooting for the Dolphins, I know. They got a lot of Jackson fans over there too, though. So I'm hoping we bring home the win is what I'm hoping. But, that's going to be the key. That and stopping the run still. Stopping the run. Stop letting them go deep and on us whenever they want with the cornerbacks not stepping up and doing their part, because they haven't been doing their part all that great either. There's been a lot of plays that could have been prevented. So those are my keys.
And, I'm going to give you my keys now. I'm very quick. Alex, I see your comment here. This doesn't all fall on Greer, but this team won 10 games last season, and all of a sudden, people are calling for their heads. Come on. Hey, look, that's the point. We won 10 games. This team should be trending upwards, not downwards. Whether you have Tua back there, and Tua was even back there the first 2 games, he was running for his life. Offensive line, who you're putting in at starting at your offensive line, the way this team defense is playing like this, and they go here. The team is trending downwards. That's why you call for heads. This team should be in a contention for the playoffs and number 1 in the AFC East. They're not. Now we're thinking about the draft. I've already read a couple things like that. So that's why we're calling for the heads. And yes, it does fall on Greer, because Greer is the one who puts the ingredients. He's the one who makes the trades. He's the one, and I'm not going to get into this debate here, but he's the one who drafted Tua over Herbert. Don't think Ross ain't seeing this. Don't think Ross is not thinking this. Ross wanted Lamar Jackson. They never got Lamar Jackson. Herbert is excelling in Los Angeles. Tua is on IR. I mean, and we knew he had injuries come in. Not saying it's a similar injury, but it's the same story over there. It does fall on Greer because he's the head of the football team right in front of Flores. It falls on them. The head of the honcho gets the chopping block. That's why it's falling on him.
Well, Monday morning quarterbacking is easy too, because I can sit here and say, we shouldn't have taken a hurt quarterback, but I'm not going to bash our quarterback. You know what I mean? That was my opinion before we drafted, was why are we taking this guy that supposedly was hurt so bad? And, I asked that from the beginning, but you know what? He's on the team now.
That's right.
If he's on the team now, that's who I'm rooting for. I'm not hey, it's all about Tua fan, but the guy obviously has some skills. They just haven't been able to be on display with this crappy offensive line that needs to be torn apart, fixed, final, and that will solve 90% of the problems up front.
And here's the thing, too, to respond to that, Hank, and you're absolutely right. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, you didn't. I know what I said about Justin Herbert. I've shared this a couple times already. He's the one I wanted. I thought he had the raw talent. He had the arm. Light job. Everybody said he's Ryan Tannehill 2.0. Look at Ryan Steele in Tennessee. Josh Allen 2.0. Look what Josh Allen's doing in Buffalo.
Sam Darnold.
In the end, Tua's your guy. And here's the point it falls on Greer. Here's the issue with Greer. You knew you drafted a quarterback, a young quarterback. Like Hank was saying before the draft, we all knew he had injury issues. He had a major issue coming in. You do what you can to protect your young quarterback, especially when you knew he had injury issues. You should draft and sign the best offensive lineman you could. You don't get the second, third best guy and you put him as your starting left tackle. You put him at guard. You sign a veteran tackle. That's the thing. And I don't want to hear, oh, we never put it in the locker room. I played high school football, but you don't know anything about football. Blah, blah, blah. Guess what? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know football. And it's pretty damn obvious the Dolphins are making big mistakes, and it does fall on Flores. It falls on Greer. It goes on them. Ross is the owner. You can't fire the owner. So I'm not even going to get into that. Flores is in the chopping block. Now, let me give you my keys to the game before we get even more distracted. Keys to the game: pressure the young quarterback, force him to make mistakes. Defense, defense, defense. And number 3, of course, offensive line, obviously, but offensive line I think is doing well. Is stop the run. They got some damn good running backs in Jacksonville. John Robinson. Those guys, they're going to be pressuring. They're going to be really going up that Miami defense. And Miami's been letting big plays on the run. So stopping the run, protecting your quarterback, pressure the young quarterback. Those are my keys of the game. Can they get that done? We'll see.
Pressure in the quarterback, I don't know about that. They're not so great at that.
They haven't been. So that's why you're going to do some Hail Marys and hard pockets, and we'll see what happens.
Hey, I think either way it's going to be a tight game, in my opinion. I think it's going to be pretty tight.
It will be. I think so, too. And my hope is if they win that game, it better not be tight because I won't be happy. I'll be happy to win, but I'll still be dissatisfied because I think they need to make a statement game right here. So let's go ahead, Hank. We're going to put our little Miss Cleo hats on. We're not going to just predict the Jacksonville game, and we're just going to do wins and losses. We won't do scores here, Hank. We talk about it's a close one. But let's go ahead for the remainder of the season. You tell me, let's do this one by one. So I'll tell you my response, then you give your answer, and we'll see what we finish off on. Is that good?
Right on.
All right, man. So let's start off. Jacksonville. The Miami Dolphins traveling to London to play the Jacksonville Jaguars and number 1 overall pick Trevor Lawrence. Hank, for me, I have Miami. It's a close game. If Tua comes back, I think that kind of gives a little bit of a spark for the Dolphins. Don't mean he's going to be the reason why they win, but it can lead to a spark, which is good enough for any young quarterback. And the Dolphins win the game in London. Close game. Hope it's a statement game. What do you say?
I say I got the Dolphins. How's that?
All right, Miami. That's 2-4 right now for the Dolphins if they win next week. Then Atlanta at Miami. What do you have them doing?
I got the Dolphins. The Heat in Atlanta is hot, but it's not Miami hot. So I take Miami.
And especially wearing those black jerseys, I'm with you. Miami should win these games. I have Miami winning against the Atlanta Falcons. In week 7, they get to 3-4. Now, at week 8, tough ass game coming up at week 8. The Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. Hank, you're a homer, but be realistic. What do you got, my friend?
I'm a big homer, but you got to go with reality, and the Bills are kicking some butt. And if Miami if their offensive line is trending up at the time, I'll pick Miami over the Bills. But if they're trending the opposite way, then I will take the Dolphins or the Bills. I'll swap out either way it rides. So. But if I have to pick today, right now, they're not trending up enough, so I'd say the Bills are going to take it.
I got you, and I'm with you on that one, too. So far, you and I are on the same page. I have Miami in Buffalo, losing to the Buffalo Bills. Miami falls to 3-5. Now we got week 9, Houston, who's not, none of these teams really, in my opinion, despite their records, are easy teams for the Dolphins because of the way Miami's playing. But hey, the Houston Texans, who do you have winning? It's in Miami.
I have the Dolphins once again. I think that they'll be able to beat the Texans. I'm not worried about it.
I'm with you. I have Miami beating Houston. Miami goes up to 4-5. Now it's always a tough matchup. They're coming to the Dolphins, but they always give us headaches no matter who's their coach or their quarterback. The Baltimore Ravens in Miami, week 10. Hank, your prediction?
Yeah, and that's the 5:20 game for me. So that's the night game, right? I think Miami's at home though, so I like Miami.
Okay.
I like Miami at home in November, definitely over the Ravens.
So you would have them at 5-5 at that point, because it's Baltimore, because of how Miami performs against John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens. I have Miami losing that game. They go down to 4-6. You have them winning that game. So now it's week 11 at the New York Jets. What do you got, Hank?
I got a W.
I'm with you on that. No need explanation. It's the New York Jets. They suck. Dolphins better win that game. Dolphins, in my opinion, move up to 5-6. You believe it's now 6-5. Now the Carolina Panthers. Carolina has been really looking good. Sam Darnold has a revived career with Joe Brady.
Yeah, I was about to say the new Sam Darnold Panthers. Because everybody was dogging him, and see, he gets out where he's got somebody protecting him, and he does twice as good. We got the same problem in Miami, and that's why I say we've become the Jets. Okay, but anyway, as I digress, I like Miami at home.
Okay, Miami.
It's going to be a close game. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be a close game. But I still like Miami, especially if that offensive line is trending normal or better. I like the odds.
And I'm going based off what we're seeing this season, how this team's trending, and we'll talk about offensive coordinating, play calling, all this whatnot. But right now, the way this team is, I have Miami losing against Carolina. They fall to 5-7 in my book. We move on to the New York Giants. That depended on me for, we don't know if Saquon Barkley is going to be healthy. I know he rolled up his ankle pretty damn bad yesterday. So we don't know if he's going to be healthy. He should be by that point, I hope.
Yeah, that's December. I'll be ready.
What do you got? What do you got for the Giants, Miami? In Miami.
Yeah, that's in Miami again, just like the last one where the Panthers are coming into town. That's why I like Miami. I like Miami at home. I always like Miami's odds at home. Being a homer, whatever you want to call it, but I always like their odds at home. It's at least a 50-50 chance every time, in my opinion. So it's a flip of a coin. So which way am I going to go? I'm going to go heads or tails, I'm going to go 50-50. I'm going to go for my team.
I hear you. For me, I do have Miami winning that game against the Giants. They go to 6-7, Hank. Then we got week 15. Miami has a bye week on week 14. But week 15, the Dolphins in Miami play against the Jets. Both wins. So we're going to move on to that. Miami, in my book, is 7-7. Then they go against the New Orleans Saints. This is another Miami game. But I will say the Saints don't look bad. Drew Brees is gone, but the Saints still look like a very tough team, Hank. Whether it's Jameis or Taysom or whomever, Sean Payton has them doing damn well. What do you got, man?
Yeah, I think the Saints are going to take that one.
I'm with you on that. I think the Saints
take that one.
I think the Saints take out Miami. Miami loses week 16. Miami, in my book, falls to 7-8. Then we have at Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry. This is a team that's they're still over here, but they're kind of over here. But still, they're a playoff contending team. They're a tough team to play. This is in Tennessee, Hank.
I gotta give that one to Tennessee. There's just too much power there. If our defensive line could do anything about a normal running game, which they can't even stop, no, it's pointless.
I hear you. I'm going to be honest with you. I have it as a loss right now. I have Miami going to 7-9 after the Tennessee game. However, I will do this one asterisk here, which this game I will be at. I will be at the Tennessee versus Miami game. And every game that I've attended, 5 games, 6 games, whatever it may be, in the games I've attended live, we've won. So I'm hoping that streak continues, even though the Dolphins' streak of turnovers ended yesterday. I hope that streak continues and actually Miami wins that game, but I have it as a loss because I got to be realistic here. Miami versus Tennessee. Tennessee looks like the tougher team, especially with Derrick Henry, and the Dolphins' defensive line doesn't get the job done with running backs. Week 18, the finale, the New England Patriots in Miami. The Dolphins, of course, beat the Patriots. Very close game, tight game. Mac Jones did well. Mac Jones has been kind of frustrating, and now he starts to look like a rookie against these other football teams. Does Miami accommodate to that and make him look like a rookie in this game, Hank? It's in New England. It's in Miami. Belichick does well in Miami, but he's also struggled. What do you got?
I got the Dolphins.
All right.
The Dolphins at home. They always play the Pats hard at home. Always.
I got Miami winning as well. I don't know if you kept track of but for me, I had the Dolphins, and finally at the end of the year, they are 8-9 as the final record for the remaining projections here. Did you have a final record count yet?
For me, I have them at 10-7 now. I went from 12-5 to 10-7.
Okay. And I think, that might still be a contention for a playoff. If Miami makes the playoffs, that adds another year.
I think the Saints game is going to take them out of contention.
Okay.
I think when they lose the Saints game, they're going to come out of contention. That's going to be that for the season. Either
one, I think, especially 8-9. If the Dolphins finish 8-9, there's some people some heads have to roll, for sure. And even missing the playoffs at 10-7. You can't allow that to happen. There's something that's going to be done. Unless Tua comes in and lights it up, I think Ross gets in there and he either says, Greer, Ross, we end up 10-7. You have one more year, but something needs to be done. And Miami's going to try to get aggressive and make some kind of big play for somebody.
It's a little early to go head rolling because they said they're going to take 5 years to do this. They said that from the beginning, that they're going to give Flores 5 years because that's what they feel it was going to take. So I don't want to take anything away from Flores, and hopefully I got some names for a giveaway today.
I'll say this very quick in response to that. Yes, they did say 5 years, but also Ross believed this team this year would be trending up and in the top battle for the top in the AFC East, not being at the bottom of the AFC East. So when your team starts trending down and the quarterback you chose is on the IR and looking like not the best one out of the draft class, decisions are being made that are not, offensive line looks like a mess. The national media, Dan Orlowski, et cetera, making statements like the Dolphins don't know what they're doing. I think that could get to Ross's head, and that 5 years could be 2 years or 3 years, and they're out the door. Hank is going to get some names for the next giveaway. What I'll say here, guys, if you excuse the technical difficulties at the beginning of the episode and the audio, we'll get that fixed. Had some issues there. But if you like the show, like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Fins Talk Today. You can follow Hank at Fins to Win. Follow myself at Bobby Fins Talk. Check out DolphinsTalk.com for the latest news and articles. And I will say this as well. Go on the Dolphins Talk YouTube page. Follow the other shows. The Dolphins podcast, another podcast is coming on after this. And Hank, you got some names, my friend. Go
yes,
ahead
I do.
Let them know.
All right, here we go. These are some more names. We got John Featherland, Jeremy Barnes, and Troy Ortiz. Those are the 3 names that we're adding to the list. We're giving away some Dolphin swag. I'm also picking up a crucial catch adjustable ball cap for whoever wins. That along with a nice sweatshirt. There's different designs that they're going to be able to choose from. And, hopefully that at least makes the season a little bit better, I know it gets a little chilly in Florida sometimes at night, doesn't
Sometimes.
it? So you never know. And I never know where these prizes are going to go. I mean, they could go anywhere in the world. I never know where I'm sending them. I just send them. I know the only place so far that I can't send things is Cuba. And that's about it.
Hey guys, look, the only way you can win is if you tune in every Monday live. Hank and his wife will look over who's chatting the show. You have to comment, like Chris and Alex and Cap for Life, Ortiz. You know, you got to comment, you got to interact with us. We will interact as best as we can with you, Alex. I see you, and I will respond. And that's your way of winning. This Hank and his wife and generosity. They do this. It's an awesome prize. They gave up a cool hat, rare 305 hat, and a Waddle jersey. I believe the last winner got. Very cool. Benny Ramirez.
Yep.
Hank, let me respond to him, and you can respond as well. Alex, I'm saying that, man. Look, if the Dolphins win 10 games, unless you're talking about last year, but hey, it's what you've done for me lately, Alex. But I'll say if it's this year, the Dolphins do win out 10-7. I do think Flores and Greer will get another year, get another chance. But I also think that, and you say to redeem themselves, I think that if they go 10-7 and miss the playoffs again in a year, watch for Miami to be super aggressive. Offensive line, quarterback, if Tua doesn't blow up, that's my response to you on that. Hank, do you have any quick response before we leave?
Yeah, I don't think any heads are going to roll. I really don't. I think that they have all those draft picks for next year and the year after, by the way, for next year and the year after. So I don't want to leave that out. And, you know, that's right in their 5-year wheelhouse. So they could either get dumped right before they use all those picks. If Mr. Ross doesn't like the way they've been using their picks, he'll dump them. If not, I think come that final year where we have like 2 picks in the first round already, was that 2023 that we have those picks?
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be around the time where Mr. Ross is going to have to make a decision. Does he want them to continue picking those high picks for him, or does he want to fire them? And
You're absolutely right, 100%.
I think that's when it's going to come down.
And that would be a smart move for Ross. If they didn't, they held on to him. If it doesn't work out and we have all those picks, that's the time to try to go something, because then the job becomes very attractive. But this is what I'll say to this, Hank, very quick, and we'll end it. This roster, again, has a lot of talent. You know, I don't know if Parker's coming back. You need to resign Gesicki. But Jalen Waddle, Myles Gaskin, you got Eichenberg on the offensive line, defense, Xavier Howard, Byron Jones. You can't waste this talent. Don't waste it 5 years on mediocrity at front office. Those guys need to get their job done. They need to do it right, because we have a lot of talent. So this job is a very attractive job. Everybody's watching this job. Whether somebody loves Tua and they think they can save Tua's career in Miami, or somebody goes, man, look at the rest of the roster, look at all those draft picks, I could do something with that football team. And Ross needs to know that. I'm sure someone's telling that to Ross in his ear. So we'll see how this plays out. It's very early in the season. It's very immature. We still have time for the year to start. I'll let you respond. So I hear what you're saying. I agree with you too. We'll see how it rolls on. And but I'm saying, if the season just totally blows out, if Miami gets destroyed by Jacksonville, all bets are off the table there. Go ahead, Hank, finish us off.
I'll tell you right now, I think that the Miami Dolphins are going to keep Tua, and if they don't win come 2023, that will be the year they pick a new quarterback if it's not getting done. That's where I think Tua's butt is right now. I don't think it's in the grinder yet, because he hasn't been given the opportunity for it to be in the grinder, and you don't have anybody coming out this year that's good enough to replace him anyway. So you might as well wait till 2023 and do your job right.
And right now, the way the draft is looking, you don't have anybody right now. Of course, you got Malik Wallace, and that's too early to talk about. But and yeah, the only way you replace him, if he's not panning out, if you do want to replace him, is trading or signing a veteran quarterback. And who's that right now? But we'll wait on that conversation. Let's finish this off. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. As again, follow us on Twitter, like and subscribe, Dolphins Talk YouTube page. Tune in every Monday for a chance to win Mr. Hank's prize. We'll see you guys next week. Fins up.